Welcome back to our small kitchen remodel. After taking the kitchen down to the studs and putting it back together, we finally have cabinets and butcher block countertops installed with appliances all back in place. Now it's time to tackle a related project that we've been putting off. Uh-oh, I hear water. Okay, you guys ever have a project that you start and then while you have not finished said project, it leads you into another project that needs to be completed before you can finish the original project. That's kind of where we're at. So anybody that owns a really old house would be able to tell you that galvanized pipe has got to go. So all these old houses, all the plumbing is galvanized pipe. The problem with galvanized pipe, let me show you, is this. How disgusting is that? So majority of that is probably rust, but it's probably catching some things that are going down the drain along the way, and it corrodes from the inside and eventually they combust. Also, if you didn't notice, it makes your narrowing much smaller, so you're gonna have pressure issues. So one of the things that you want to do with an old house is replace all of the galvanized piping that you can. This has been on our list to do since the second we bought this house. We just haven't prioritized it. So here is all of the culmination of our water lines. This is the main sewer going out of the house. So all of the things drain here. And right above us is the kitchen, and just behind here, these pipes going up, is the bathroom. So when we do the bathroom remodel, we will be changing out this galvanized pipe as well as this galvanized pipe. So this is the sink, that's the shower. What we just did is we changed this. This was all galvanized, and that one going up to our kitchen drain. So this is where our kitchen sink drains into, okay? Now, so we just replaced that, which is the disgusting one that I just showed you. Now here is our water lines, and right here is these little off-white small PVC pipes. This is our sink faucet, so hot and cold water, okay? There is a leak right here that we found since we started doing the remodel. So we need to replace that. Also, this water line goes to our outside spigot. We have one on the wall behind me as well. Both of those also have leaks. So we thought to ourselves with this kitchen faucet line, okay, we can replace that little spot or we can patch that little spot, but is that really the best thing to do? Or should we just suck it up and change everything? So we're gonna spend the day changing everything over that we possibly can, from galvanized to PEX piping. We've already put copper piping under the kitchen sink, but we're gonna add a little bit more. So we got some more copper piping. But here's the PEX lines, and here's our little workbench right now. Y'all, this basement is a mess, just ignore it. It's our tool shed. After turning off the main water, the first thing to do was to get the main line coming in loosened. So we tried to twist this pipe knowing that it probably wasn't gonna come loose anyway, so I just ran to the store and got this stuff. It's gonna penetrate that rust and hopefully loosen it up a little bit so that we can unscrew it. It probably took us close to an hour to get this pipe loosened. The proximity to the gas line made it difficult to get enough leverage with the pipe wrenches, but once we finally got it, we were ready to get started. I know I already showed you guys one, but I'm gonna keep showing. How oh my gosh.
That's what you're drinking.
This is why you don't drink tap water, y'all. Moment of truth. This is exciting. So obviously we're not replacing this, that goes out. Probably be nice, but that's above our pay grade here. So we have now this coupling, and this is going to connect to our PEX piping. Simple as that. So this little thing tells you if you crimped it right. Let me show you. If you're gonna see, see a little line there. So you want it to fit over the coupling or over the crimp ring to that line. You don't want it to go all the way in and you've compressed it too small. So let's see if I can even show this. So see how, it probably doesn't show very well, but I have a little space back here so it doesn't go all the way in. So that is correct. All right, we got our first one in. This was our first time installing PEX piping, and it could not be any simpler. We used a combination of the straight and elbow couplings to get all the pipes in place. The crimping of the rings was not always the easiest, trying to do it overhead, but overall this was definitely a DIY friendly project and one that we will not shy away from in the future. We are officially done with that. Well, other than we plan on replacing this hot water heater, so we will address those lines when we do that. But as far as what we need to get up and running, we have finished. We are about to turn it on for the first time to see if there's leaks. We also need to finish the spigot. So the wall behind me looks like this too, where there's a shut-off valve, and we will go find frost-free spigots. I hear water. Oh, this was on. We only found one leak at the connection between the old PVC pipe coming off the hot water heater and the new PEX piping, but that was easily fixed with just tightening that connection a little bit more. And now with running water throughout the house again, we could shift our focus back to finishing this kitchen. Okay, so when we took down all the uppers, this is what we were left with. Our planking job that we did before now needs to be extended to the ceiling, or to the wall, sorry. A little unfortunate hindsight, we should have never planked the kitchen, but at the time we weren't planning on taking down those uppers and gutting our kitchen. So we felt like if we just tried to put short pieces that it would just, we wouldn't be able to get a good seam and it would just stand out like a sore thumb. So we just got to redo the kitchen basically. So we're taking down all the planks to where they end, and we're gonna try and, like for instance this one, we're gonna have to like kind of squeeze it in between those two. I don't know, we're gonna see how it works, but it's not gonna be fun.
I just want to show proof of you working.
That's what you call it. Looking like I'm working, but I just attempt.
Efforting.
I fail so that you take over.
Yeah, I did that as a teenager. Atta girl. Stick it in there. Yeah, pull it down. Pull it down, girl. There you go. Manhandle it. Bring your stool over here. Now hit the end of that board with the harder.
I can't.
Harder.
It worked! Some takeaways. Our ceiling was ridiculously hideous, so I had forgotten just how ugly it was. So this is confirmation that I love the planks. But takeaway: once you put them up, you don't ever want to bring them back down. Take them back down, because what a pain.
Yeah, unless you like don't care and you take them all down, but you're still
and you're like,
your ceiling.
yeah, and you plan on re-drywalling the ceiling, like, sure. So now we need to just figure out how many planks we need. We're gonna buy all new planks. We're not gonna try and reuse any of these, but we're gonna buy new planks, paint them, get a layer of paint on them before we put them up, and then when we caulk over the seams and the nail holes, then we'll roll again with another layer of paint for the second. So that's the plan. Over the next couple of days, we got the ceiling planks installed, seams and nail holes all filled and sanded, and the upper cabinets installed. At this stage in the remodel, it finally felt like we were checking off some big ticket items from our to-do list, and things were wrapping up quickly. Okay, so these are 30-inch cabinets in height. Ideally, we probably would have preferred having closer to like the 40-inch range, but when it came to unfinished cabinets that we could paint, they didn't have that as an option at Menards. We looked at some other places. They do have 40-inch cabinets, but they were a lot more expensive for the style, so we didn't want to pay that. So we went with the 30-inch cabinets. We still wanted them to go all the way to the ceiling. I'm not a huge fan of that gap in between the top of cabinets and the ceiling. So we pushed them all the way up, and what our plan is we're gonna have a shelf underneath here and underneath this one that's going to continue on to the corner. And we'll probably have one more shelf up here somewhere. So I'm a huge fan of open shelving. We had it in our last house. I know it's not for everyone, but at least it's not full open shelving. You still have some cabinets up top. But that's the plan. So now the uppers are in, we can start planning for those shelves and wrap this kitchen up. Minus the backsplash, minus the vent hood. The previous week, we finally got all the cabinet doors painted. Using Benjamin Moore's advanced paint and satin finish, we used our sprayer to spray the color High Park on the rest of the cabinet doors. This paint recommends waiting 16 hours between coats, so we did it over the course of 2 days, and then we waited another week before installing them, just to give them a little more time for that paint to cure. As we wrap up this portion of the kitchen, let me remind you of what it looked like before. We had very old cabinets with layers and layers of paint on them, Formica countertops, a pink backsplash, and originally had popcorn ceilings. And after a lot of hard work, here we are. Now, we are not saying this kitchen is finished, but we can say that it is basically finished. Maybe it's a bit premature to show a before and after, but I felt like it was at a point to do just that. We will still be adding open shelving, a vent hood, and a backsplash, and we'll show that as we do them. But for now, we're just enjoying our tiny little functional kitchen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.